Thank you very much, Chairman Bost, for this hearing. I thank our witnesses for being here. 2 years ago, I was asked to chair a task force for my colleagues on modernization of healthcare, looking at what we could prepare for legislation. And I actually focused that on three things, and that was access, prevention, and affordability through artificial intelligence, technology, wearable devices. And I think what you've underscored today is exactly that. Is it possible, and I'll ask you all this just very quickly if you can answer, is technology disruptive? And sometimes as we advance, whether it's from an agrarian society to the industrial age to the information age, are there people who lose jobs and positions? Mr. Gray?
Just like during the agrarian time there is, but they will flex and new jobs will be created.
Dr. Bloom?
Your hope is you're going to be able to avoid the need for a number of clinicians, but those can be put to other uses.
Mr. DeLullo?
I believe technology available today allows clinicians to work at the top of their licensure, which will help us scale.
Dr. Parasanthi?
I think that this is where implementation science needs to be followed, where it needs to be phased in rather than be disruptive.
So not unusual that as technology advances, we will, one, have more access, two, be able to use prevention, three, make it more affordable, and we may need less people to do certain things, such as 80,000 VA employees that were hired during the last 4 years at a $126 billion increase in revenue to the VA with level national people applying for and receiving care. So I think that that's a normal process as we develop and grow and innovate. Dr. Blum, I think Representative Radewagen asked you about the causes of diabetic ulcers. As a doc, I know them, but if you could, and I think you mentioned this, consequences of diabetic foot ulcers left untreated or poorly treated, and you mentioned amputations and the cost of amputations. So could you just reiterate that again?
Well, first, per VA national data, we know that the 5-year mortality of just getting the foot ulcer is 70%. That's worse than almost all cancers except for maybe glioblastoma, pancreatic cancer, a couple of the really big scary ones. So that already is very alarming. And of course, if they get infected, they might have to see one of us in the operating room. Now we're going to lose the limb, and that's now a life-altering event where they now can't take care of themselves the same way. We see dramatic increases in depression, suicide ideation, the actual suicide event. It's a devastating change in their life. For example, we had one patient where they just stopped using it. Now, per protocol, we're going to reach out to that patient and try to find out what's happening, remind them to get on the mat, and we had to just leave a voicemail. They called back the next day, thankfully they did, and acknowledged that the pain was too much in his limb. He now wants to take his life, thanked us for the care that he had, and just wanted to let us know that that was going to be the case. And thankfully we were able to get him the services. But
so it's because of those things that products like yours have recognized significant cost savings as well as quality of life improvement.
Significant savings, and now for that veteran, he's still with us, just thanks to that extra touch to the patient.
And how was your experience engaging with the Office of Health Innovation and Learning at the VA?
Well, I think that the innovation group offers like this critical part to the industry. And when we were just coming along, we didn't know what we were doing. There's no manual to the VA. Try to come in any way you can. When we started to work with it had a different name prior, but OHIL essentially, they were able to figure out, okay, what is the right model for a company to adapt to the VA? It's arrogance to presume the VA is going to adapt and bend to us. So we had to build it together. But when we did, now it was perfect built for our veteran, perfect built for those VA infrastructures, and that's why we're seeing the savings we are.
Thank you. And I'm running out of time, but Mr. DeLullo, what complementary steps do remote services offer to connect VA practitioners with rural veterans and may save visits to the hospital or to practitioners?
Congressman Miller-Meeks, it's great to finally meet you. I would actually, I'll use one example that's is significant in our ability to reach into rural communities specifically. We have something called a Lumify, which if you can imagine an ultrasound today, an ultrasound can be done on an iPad. They can have a transducer plugged in. I can video in on broadband a technician or a sonographer or a radiologist remotely anywhere. For example, I was in the Kalispell Clinic in Montana this summer. They have no imaging equipment there, but yet it's a large enough facility where you could put an iPad in there and beam in somebody from Fort Harrison from 3 hours away, and I can get a gastro scan, I can get a prostate scan, I can get a liver scan with over-the-shoulder coaching and in real-time results. I can do that anywhere in the country, and we do that in private healthcare.
And have you used artificial intelligence to enhance patient care?
Absolutely. I'll just use that. We could talk for a long time on the ability to enhance imaging and speed the process, but in that particular case, we actually construct the image in AI on the system itself and render a very precise diagnostic. And that's our new opportunities, not just to reach patients, but give precise diagnostics quickly.
Thank you. Representative Ramirez.